Hello, beloved. How are you doing today? I hope you're blessed. I want to read a short scripture to you and tell you something I think the Lord gave me. And He gave me this a while back. This is not a thus saith the Lord or anything like that. But this is how I see things. And I try to see things the way He sees things. I try to see it from His viewpoint. For I find that's the best thing. I don't want to see it from other men's viewpoints. I don't really care about what they have to say. I care about what He says, what the Word says. And so this is something I feel like He gave me to answer a question. So in Amos chapter 9, it says in verse 13, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. Okay, so when it says melt, by the way, it's just like talking melting with milk and honey. That's what it's talking about in this particular text. It's not talking about later when the earth shakes and the mountains are melted and they leap like little lambs and the islands are pushed out of their place. But this whole thing here, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman, now the plowman is the guy who's plowing the field to plant the seeds in. Seeds haven't even gone in yet. Shall overtake the reaper. The reaper is the person who does things at the end of the harvest. He's reaping the harvest. So he's saying that the planting, the very before the planting, where the furrow is dug to plant the seeds, that guy is going to catch up with the guy who's harvesting on the other end. And then it says, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed. Well, you tread grapes at the end, after the crop. You know, the grapes grow, and when they're ripe and everything, you pull them in, and then you stomp on the grapes to get wine, right? To get grape juice to make wine, to ferment. And so it's saying that the guy who's treading on the grapes is going to catch up with the guy that's sowing the seed. Well, that's kind of crazy. That seems like a strange thing to say about time. But see, people have always had a question about the Garden of Eden. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And that's not how I think things work with God. When God brings, He brings fullness. He doesn't bring partial. He doesn't bring a little. And so when God makes life, He makes all the levels of that life. This is like the discussion, did Adam and Eve have belly buttons? Why would they? She came out of a rib. He was made, out of the dirt of the earth. So why would they have a place where the stem was pulled off? You know what I'm saying? It's a question that people ask about this stuff. I think when God made life, He made all the phases of plant life. From the acorn on the tree to the acorn in the ground growing. He made every single step. And it's kind of like people are like, well, what did He do in 24 hours? He made all the vegetation and plant life on the earth. Well, it's not that difficult. It said He made it out of His words. He spoke it, okay? And He does a lot of things. In the book of Revelation, He has a sword that comes out of His mouth that's two-edged and kills all these people, okay? It's like light comes out of His mouth and kills them. So this is something about Him. This is about His being and the way He functions. So it's not hard for people to see something like in Iron Man, the guy's like hanging up here and he's over everything. Well, what if Jesus took 24 hours? It's 24,000 miles around the earth, which is round and not flat. Okay, you just if you believe that, then you probably don't know what gender you are. So just go ahead. But the earth is round, and so 24 zones, 24 hours. So He basically could have been above it going, oh, well, life was coming in all the phases. If we can make a stupid game like Age of Empires or something, where it's like it plants a seed and suddenly you have little bitty digital trees, little digital people, and God can't make it in real, we're just biological machines. We have a spirit breathed into us. He's breathed into us. We're biological machines. That's why there are animals in heaven, but animals down here don't go to heaven. You know why? Because they ain't got His breath breathed into them. But anything you see down here, any type of animal, this is just an idea of where He brought it from. Okay? He put His best here. This was where He made us. This is the nursery for His babies, for us to be His partner, His family, His wife, His bride, His muse. That's what you are. You're His treasure. So don't let people with their little brain stuff, oh, which came first, the chicken or the egg? They're just thinking with a little mind. And I don't mean the penis. I mean the little part of their brain. Don't think like dogs. We don't have to think like dogs. Okay? We are made a little lower than the angels and crowned with glory. But it says a little lower. It doesn't say we're made like garbage on the bottom. We're like snails or some shit. Okay? We're made a little lower than the angels, but crowned with glory. So get everything he's got for you today, and don't think with the small thinking. And it just has to line up with the word. Just line it up with the word. Don't try putting ideas like, oh, I don't want women to preach, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. Don't try putting shit in. Go find out what he says. Go find out his views. His views are perfect. All the best, beloved. God bless. See you on the flip with Jesus.